Dear Mexico, thank you for helping run damage control for the border in relationship to where each modern nation was born forced to self value. I'll help you stack on that now if you want. You know, I know you want because our species longs more than these value nature systems, tactical ulterior than the one attached to all questions, is capable of speaking about through styles of liars pretending other, which is recorded, preventing mandated law in every modern nation simultaneously, distinctly and non-distinctly, and that tied to the streams of people manifest with everything in demonstration. We are in an identity of negative value nature progression, self-value as phenomenon to selves and others, even needing to, in other words, where it counts, where fact nature is. Self-valuing the phenomena, all the phenomena tied to logistical positions that are that have long been involved with natures of weapons and with the defenses of locations of everything tied to that in all ways, leading up to it. Saying negative value niche progressions, vertical and horizontal, all ways. In other words, the way to counter this is with science, actual. But the identities of the law of modern nations can't defend themselves. Their styles of convictions and the surface values of the Constitution of America, for example. We have our American history was only told through criminal foreign influences. That's forced, and that's recorded. We don't have free speech to demonstrate that because we have opinion natures interbranch that already have been relied upon. The real causes of negative value nature progression acts natures, things like nuclear and phenomenon like nuclear weapons, like the phenomenon of the way hospitals can be converted into um what keeps things stuck, criminally foreign influence states and areas, and worse, because that's self value too, not just self value, but in the method that made this modern nations propagated as a lie progression machine from each database relationship since before computers. That was with the development of computers self-valuing because they already had styles of liars, treatments of and uses of each age of fact treatment nature. Now, for example, they're like a gang, modern nations. So, like a whole bunch of people associated with two Mendez police are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with a whole bunch of state police and Weathersfield police and judges with criminal uses of CCSU, of their databases. And these are crime acts rolls with mail crimes, wire crimes, drug crimes with kids, crimes in cases already by New Britain Superior Court, by Hartford courts, by their family, by the judges of family members retired and standing. And they're with names forging and switching crime rolls with all tied to them too, and their family members, because how they got involved. And so I basically never had a conversation with the Delaferro family in my life, and they tried to film other. He's involved with a whole bunch of people on and off the middle school and high school, involved further with child campuses younger than that and older than that, with further child offenders of a whole bunch of youth roles, and with elderly homes. And these probate judges associated with this Delaferro family with racketeering with other natures of drug crimes and with houses around the high school and people with criminal uses of the FBI. Not just here. I can see how they use here is also recorded how criminally how they're using the identity of the ground of the FBI in Chicago. Real, or especially if real, especially if made up. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated and involved with racketeering in Chicago that is tied to the people stacking in New York City in layers of motivations of roles with fake care and with fake righteous aggression and justice and roles with other natures of recorded gun crimes and wire crimes and evidence is racketeering with that associated with the people with the polling colleges, roles with their students, with every campus, and there are kids per a method that keeps each age of fact cheaping nature, self-valuing roles with interbranch family members, intermilitary, inclusion, all ties private to them, like the campuses, especially, and like all natures of them, like especially including um, prison campuses and the training of their stewards. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated criminally foreign influence delusions wrought, pretending they're against, pretending they're using statutes. In other words, they have rules that say they can do things, but those whole places are involved with racketeering with their patients and criminals before they're in prison. They're with racketeering with databases, vertical and horizontal, with child campuses, differentially with women interbranch originally still women private tied to them with psychology, foreign and domestic, even women, a woman Russian recorded, repeated, confessed to me and others her involvements with cliques involved with WFSB and with Fox Connecticut News, with the FBI and with the CIA, crimes leading up to and in the Trade Center attack, crimes leading up to and in a 2006 case, crimes leading up to all and in other cases, their criminal uses of depositions, people that witnessed those depositions for fact cheating nature racketeering tricks they use with crime methods, for example, and crime, you tools using words like inculpatory evidences and exculpatory evidences criminally, using words like statutes and like laws criminally, using words like crimes criminally, using words like patriotism criminally, using words like service and job and value criminally. Everyone's. We have to demonstrate the recorded women judges involved, with many from my town, with the state police involved all along that route that goes by the front of their offices, and with this Olive Ferry family, and with two, and with a whole bunch of other people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with them, with state police, and people associated with Eric and Matt Olson, and with former director of the FBI's people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated ties with him criminally through the other natures of crimes. They didn't use his name, but that's recorded. There are federal crimes with others I don't know the name of from my school when I was younger. They know my name only because they repeated. They were told walk out this door at this time and say this. Be there. And I don't know them. Someone they maybe filmed and next to me a few times or whatever like that. They do things like that, and then they also have people I have nothing to do with, like a Joshua Julian, that a whole bunch of people involved with a whole bunch of natures of crimes with sex offenders, child sex offenders, families, crimes like wire crimes, police forms with their drug clicks that made all these confessions to me that were connected intercity. And so they kept extending what I needed to counter, and I was trying to have one person counter any part of it. And in other words, they won't do that. They want to pick one part in courts because the courts are preventing mandated law. That's what I'm trying to tell them. Since before the Trade Center attack, people in New Britain Superior Court, Hartford Court, and other courts. Afterwards, I found out more people associated with Middletown courts, like a Ray Reynolds family, and other families, like a whole bunch of families from my town with a whole bunch of military, Navy, Coast Guard, foreign military, like Kuwaiti military. And in the note, it was reported that they were laterally drilling into Iraq too. Now these are people with Normandy Heights, and with West Farms Mall recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with our side. A whole bunch of nations kept our side criminally foreign influenced, and they've been coaching the sensibilities of Saudis involved with West Farms Mall and on and off CCSU and on and off Tunxus College with family members and with colleagues and other deans from other colleges and their one dean, and people involved with prisons like um involved even religiously with a religious spouse. Like, but everyone's sensibilities want to keep secrets and things like that with strangers too, and that's being used criminally. These are people, former director of the FBI, CIA. These are people with racketeering with houses in my area. They don't understand it. That's why they make confessions to me and out of nowhere, and they're using that criminally because it's not just them. These are tied confessions everywhere I went, all tying back to the same house slash S, involved further now with child sex offenders, which is my experience, how I understand, and they're preventing me a response in writing and in interbranch, recorded individually, grouped and together. And each individual indifferent to that originally the way they were originally, still worse than indifferent to that. So we're originally still we're worse than incapable of having an election, and it's getting worse and worse how they have democracy leveraged against the position of the presidency and force collusion with it, where where the value of people stacking in New York City is unacceptable. They forced, which where they would have forced anyone, distinctly and not distinctly. They forced President Barack Obama to collusion there. They have opinion natures on a mass scale as a pseudo positive, as a good natured people, but as long victim predators, the same way the good people become overt criminal enterprises on a mass scale, same way good people have in climates where you could grow anything, still have to put it in the right seed window, right context soil, plants around it, not just companion plants. It's like this is tactically denatured landscape theater or tactically overtly denatured in conjunction with its roles with all fake science. So we have Wethersfield police recorded, confessed, and demonstrated to me and to my family and to other people that the Wethersfield police chief and his family members are involved with uses of confessions also to them and to myself, and that are also involved with their roles with shipping places, not just their roles with white mail crimes that our very family and others at Trinity College recorded and confessed and demonstrated that and they implied that he was behind their I don't know the family members and what their positions, what title they have, what of a Joshua Striker involved, but he's involved with identity thefts, identity frauds, and natures of identity racketeering, also with judges of various natures, courts, and their family members interstate. A whole bunch of people with the name Alicia involved with that, sharing names. People, men and women that share the name Bobby, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also with Rocky Hill locations all along that route from that goes from Wethersfield, Rocky Hill, into to Cromwell. And then there's a gym there. There are people at Sandy Hook in Newtown recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. There are doctors and people that work there and people that train the prisons and their family members on off CCSU, other colleges that are involved with racketeering roles and uses of sequence shifts and evidence crimes and identity theft crimes with all the identity, the ground locations, all the different identities of all the private and other. No, in other words, they have everyone speaking through others, and they're having male and female judges, people on off the state judicial branch offices, people on off the state prison offices, a whole bunch of ways recorded, confessed, and demonstrated criminally involved with all the different gyms in Connecticut, sickly, distinctly, and non-distinctly, and having exploited that. They have people with CCSU recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with media racketeering acts with mail crime rolls, wire crime rolls, election crime spots involved with them criminally as people briefing them to rolls with it. So it's not their fault. Their identity is being used criminally from off the campuses. They're also using aggression and fake care, like against hate speech. I believe this is hate speech because they're sequence shifting, because they're involved with racketeering from off campuses. These campuses that are branches of government are kept originally still criminally foreign influence in layers from cases already, live progressions from those spots, from uses of value of the ground and of everyone already, live progressions consolidating, congealed sick as probate courts with elderly homes, really sick people involved with a method of racketeering with against each age of factor, treating each sickly distinctly and non-distinctly. The elderly are forsaken the same way overt poverty is. They have what they call poverty. They have juxtaposed, focused upon it methodically, as actually recorded, a whole bunch of misprision identities individually grouped in together as life progressions in relationship to nature itself, where that is made manifest by correlation nature's simultaneously inherent active and progressive means, and with that identity unaffected by what makes that untrue and keeps that untrue. They keep what is complicated pretending complicated. Sounds complicated. I try to explain out all the rules of English. By doing order, you understand. So we have to understand first the identity of space, because that is coming at while already being, and from beyond. Another way also, the value of all questions as its answer slash S. Because plurality is making more of a forever nature, the same way more identities of value come into water. The same way more identities of value come out into Earth's nature of volume. The same way more gases come into airs. We're in an identity of value progression. All exceptions are in demonstration of it also, which is Leith of Hadith for space nature transfer. So we have criminally foreign influenced each modern nation at once. Conviction natures, quality of fact treatment nature, style of liars, of fake integrity. That's recorded. Now the evidence are how they're preventing mandated law, and that's sequence shifts. Now the evidences are also how they're hiding this and pretending not to realize, which reveals what their uses of Facebook is also involved with racketeering with the campuses, with child sex offenders, with the election spots, and with the election crimes, with CNN too. If these are CNN sources, Interbranch Connecticut. These are people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated interbranch from my town in Hartford, involved racketeering on off West Hartford, on off Rocky Hill, on off with people on off CCSU. Also racketeering acts on off Trinity College through time. Racketeering method rules. All kinds of wrongdoers in relationship. Fake news stole me to fake words, fake location. They stole my parents to fake location, fake sequence. They stole my mother to fake sequence, fake fake words, fake relationships. They also recorded, confessed against my mother and against me and against little kids. They attached to fake locations and databases with judges. WFSB recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They also have a Gowdy family and have a Dow family involved with the racketeering with Yukon connected, also with real estate crimes with the Hanson family, and with people with judges associated with the real estate crimes, also with Wethersfield Police, and with my new and past neighbors, with further child sex offenders, cliques, and families further involved with their racketeering acts and rules, with a whole bunch of people at Hartford Hospital recorded with them, involved with crimes with their patients and criminals before they were there. They're also recorded consciously, and the news is recorded consciously criminally, pretending not to understand that, and how people forced for mental evaluation are attached to fake words. Fake recorded things are put into databases. Those people are already involved with crimes against those adults and kids since before they were forced for mental evaluation. See, we have mental evaluation in collusion with the houses in my area recorded with CIA, FBI, their family members. All racketeering acts rolls with the same house slash S that's criminally involved with the police chief of Weathersfield, the one that passed years ago. That in other words, that used to be years ago, and I don't know if he's still around. And his girlfriend recorded reportedly the people they bought the house from. Now, my new and past neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also racketeering with this, roles with this, and with as the other ones also involved with various natures of overt criminal enterprise. This is also recorded, and their criminal uses of the witness protection program also tied in the other house side of me, and the houses on all sides of it, all victims, but all being people being coached to be victim predators, whereas they want to start fights. In other words, I don't want to talk about them. They want to just walk up to people and ask questions and make confessions. And the questions they ask are, if I know people that have already been asking to demonstrate, involved with a whole bunch of racketeering leading up to in the trade center days, since they were kids, involved with the people from the other cities that confess roles with this, that are also recorded and confirmed. They know this. They're involved criminally foreign influence by a whole bunch of other nations because it's right through fake sides. They don't really care about their sides here or there where it counts, where they're maintained criminally foreign influence, where the private value treatments are forced value because we don't have enough jobs, what they call value, and the jobs we have are furthering are semi slash completely like the branches, semi slash completely involved with racketeering against each age, each individual grouped together of each identity, the ground location, like at UPS. A whole bunch of nations recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with them. They make everyone speak through other people. They record them. They made me go work there. Well, that's recorded for too. These are involved with the deans forging, switching names with this, and racketeering with the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his lawyer. A whole bunch of people tied to the shooting of Greg Kyler, real or made up, especially if made up. They're involved racketeering on and off Trinity College with the dean or the guy who was pretending to be the dean of Trinity College, who attached me to fake locations and conversations with an Alicia. And or he used one of the Alicias I walked by, or that was confessed and recorded also involved with the racketeering, confirmed sequence shifts, for example. They don't know what they confirmed because it was since before the Trade Center attack, with from off CCSU, then on CCSU recorded, confirmed, and confessed and recorded Sammy Vega's roles. And they've introduced more and more information about that. Weathersfield on and off Town Line Drive involved with Joseph Lieberman's family and this Ray Hernandez, also with the policing of the store, like Weathersfield Shopping Center, involved with racketeering with judges retired and standing clicks, and with people criminally involved with uses of the prisons. There's a prison in Sandy Hook, Newtown, where that Adam Lanza kid was, and now that Lanza name is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with like Israel, other nations that don't even like them, in collusion with them because their criminal uses of the ground and their criminal roles with intercultural cliques interbranch. Prosecutors are involved with racketeering with a whole bunch of people tied to a Rick Faglione with identity thefts, acting like I know them, and hiding all their roles with racketeering with judges and with prosecutors in the only contexts that are other. Their roles with sequence shifts. Even when they were in grammar school, he pretended that I was in a class with him I was never in. Like they do little things like that behind backs. Made lies about what I talked about in a show and tell class when I was when I was little. These people are playing tricks with facts of free speech. There were a whole bunch of doctors tied to people that lived next to the Morrow family that are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved also with racketeering with them. They're also involved with like spreading lies specifically because they keep theater jobs. They have an acting place next to Fox Connecticut News tied to two Carone brothers. I never had a conversation with them. And any exceptions, I mentioned them. And those are also a whole bunch of people with CCSU confessed and recorded involved roles with them, with their confessed, recorded, and demonstrated roles with racketeering with the former director of the FBI and with his co-defendants leading up to in the Trade Center attack context from Connecticut. Now, these are proven tied to a post-dated documents that have been shown to the Ninth Circuit panel of judges in the Trade Center attack context right before the attack. That proven led to a 2006 case now in Connecticut with former director of the FBI as a defendant and with his co-defendants and with his lawyer further then and now with it involved also with various natures of courts, people on and off the state judicial branch offices. WFSB was recorded and involved with police forms, also private, military police, foreign and domestic, pretending to perceive things and pretending to record things and attaching lies to things actual. And then that's tied to them telling, influencing CNN to pretend to be that facts and truths is promoting it is not doing that criminally because they know they know they can and do attach lies to truths, but they're victims. Their identities, like the campuses, are being used from off them. So they're defending an identity because they go give their time. They beat each slave, including the what they call what the Uncle Tom was a phrase here because it's involved with the criminal insidiousness nature theater on Farmington Avenue still. That's involved with leading up to in Hartford, Connecticut. Now these are also racketeering roles with what's it called? All those drugs, those crazy ones too, and the Narcan clicks and narrative natures. Chris Walters, Eric Burgess, and women associated with Hartford courts recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they were also involved with them criminally leading up to the Trade Center attack and were in line with a pattern of vertical and horizontal database racketeering. Horizontal because there are live regressions from that. They're standing live progression cover up natures now, all directions. Now it's not just vertical or horizontal, but that's tied to it because those databases are standing identity ground value relationships. And when I say value, everyone else, I don't know what they were. I wasn't paying attention when people say value before. I was talking about the algorithm in relationship to years ago. I watched the algorithm video, but I'm talking about the algorithm in relationship to identity. One nature of positive that is simultaneously with positive and negative to its own perfection, where we are temporary positive no matter what. This is also in relationship to criminal insidiousness natures of positive as the styles of convictions that are ulterior from the surface of being able to defend themselves and the surface values of the Constitution at the same time. So they memorize what um what amendment means, what for it to be tricks, to use it criminally. Free speech means free speech. Marbury versus Madison. You even entertain that. Then they wanted to, oh, what? We have offensive evidence racketeering natures. Also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated into branch with the crime method of pretending people should pick one of the many natures of crimes they stack against us and our family members and force them to sustain. Not one has trained. So I'm gonna start writing what I know about. I'm writing about what I know about the families associated with this, because I want you to know that Weathersfield, you've been lied to. They also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that prosecutors and that people involved with FBI and CIA and with New Britain Superior Court on off the state judicial branch offices and some prison clicks. State police also, a number of ways with my area, are involved with the racketeering with acts with their family members with CCSU. There's a girl down the street involved with that too, with houses on my street. And the EMS. These are also EMS recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with a whole bunch of people tied to Normandy Heights and to people that associate with the apartments next to them. And then the leasing agents involved racketeering with the agencies and with the military, foreign and domestic involved criminally here. Now, real or made up about that woman who they said died. In other words, I'm not saying anything's real, they say. But they have racketeering acts, roles, and uses of Farmington, and uses of the state police and WFSB, a former state police guy. This is racketeer. He came into the state police also before he did that. CCSU and other campuses were already involved with racketeering. He's involved with through his entire career with uses of all that's tied to the state police and like forensics locations. And they're his recorded and confessed and demonstrated crimes with child sex offenders cliques in my area. I never had a conversation with Mr. Vance, but this is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated his crimes also with women judges with child sex offenders, women doctors, foreign and domestic. These are very sick natures with their crimes, with their prison cliques also involved with my area, like an O'Brien family, also involved with all natures of police in Rocky Hill. And with fire departments. There are people on off of web school also involved with racketeering with military families involved with identity thefts and with stolen glory. And then we uses of that phrase. Now, when you see people stacking in New York City, I want you to understand that stolen glory. And I want you to get me a response for who used my name. And I want you to get me a response for why and how they didn't report, confess, and demonstrate what I asked to report. And see, they're forcing. Then they force you because then the girls, they have the sensibilities. Then they'll either fight with you like punks, because men are punks, and that's forced because they're sequence racketeering. Now they know that my friend from Saudi Arabia will confirm what all this is said is true. My friend, and God help everyone. In other words, I'm supposed to be divorced now. I want to make sure this is on the record too, because we have a whole bunch of people with lawyers again that are involved with racketeering, where they start fights between couples because they have a way they keep women involved with sequence racketeering, involved with a whole bunch of women associated with Heather Hansen, involved with CCSU through time with this too, with Lieutenant Vance's entire career involved with racketeering, with child sex offenders cliques, and with WFSB racketeering acts, roles, fake conversations with me. These are people crime rolls leading up to and in cases, like a 2006 case, court case with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. Also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved crimes with a GAL and with a Gaudi. People involved with racketeering, further around uses of methods. Everyone's speaking through others too, per their roles with drugging some kids, with the same people involved with the drug clicks, formal overt criminal enterprise. They have other racketeering roles with them, like this Mayano family. We have houses next to the parks, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Whole bunch of people tied to a Ray Cololo and to a Joe DeMoro. Joe DeMoro and Ray Cololo used to hang around together. And people saw me around them sometimes, but I only know them in relationship to a crime method everyone missed too, where they just have everyone speaking through everyone. So you're in a suburb now. These people involved racketeering with North End of Hartford. That's also why this is tied to, and with the various networks, WTNH, WFSB, and Fox Connecticut News. They're recorded criminally involved. They're also recorded consciously criminally, pretending the amount of names they stack on to using other people from their town. In other words, because they pretended me in past conversations with all these police forms and judges and their drug clicks and their family members used criminally already. They already painted fake things in databases. They're already preventing mandated law. How long do I have to ask for it for them to pick one name in sequence? Now these are Sandy Hook people crimes, Newtown crimes, recorded. These are people with the fire department, the sensibilities of people. You know, simultaneously they put the memes out and they give, oh, this is the industry for the meme. Simultaneously, people are exploiting how they put "don't forget" and pictures of the Trade Center. You guys are still Racketeering Act rules with them. WFSB is Racketeering Act rules leading up to in the Trade Center attack, leading up to in the 2006 district court case, leading up to in other cases that were used to force illusions and to pretend passions and emotions so they could force a principal sex offender not told on with others then and now still further. They're in the background pretending emotions. There are female judges recorded, confessed, demonstrated they acted to Weatherfield parents as they're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes also with people in their court with their Facebook crimes with child sexual offenders and with their physical delusions recorded and with their actually recorded natures involved sequence racketeering, evidence racketeering, male judges also. But see, female judges, and that's telling because there are also females who are black and white. And these are also crimes with child sexual and medical offenders and military. And these are people with the shipping also. Even Coca-Cola, UPS involved with the UPS and mail click in the corners. And then the corner down that Pruda family. Of people with a Kerr family, and Inspector Mike, I don't know if that's him, a person who implied he was Chris Walters. I don't know if that's him. And then, I don't know. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated because they need to pretend emotions now and passion because he had people associated with his wedding. Also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with judges and with Weathersfield Police Branch with them and with these people along that route. A Kerr family also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with New Britain Superior Court with KNER. And the officer Jerry Miller also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. In a house next to them, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Other house down the street, recorded, confessed, and per other ways tied. People tied to Eric Jensen used to spread rumors. He's involved with vertical, horizontal database crimes, sequence shifting with the house /S in my area, with the kid that came in fourth grade, involved with the child sex offenders. Also, other people in my age, but I don't even know if they went to my school, right, that live right around me, involved with this. and with the New York cliques, with the child sex offenders. Further, now they have fake child sex offender maps. These are also men and women involved with the judges criminally. Now they also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated Fox, CT, WTNH, and WFSB's racketeering roles with people associated with Normandy Heights and with the policing and people associated with apartments in Rocky Hill also involved with the intercities through time. See, they're keeping everyone raised criminally foreign influence through another method slash bonded. They're using the fact sheet nature of women speaking through others and men speaking through others since they were kids, where girls speaking through others is used criminally. And where and how when that the boys are victims too. They're made victims, but the boys are made victims too. In other words, there's an Abruzzi family also who's involved with CCSU, involved with the campuses intercities. CCSU tied to the campus near me, further involved with child sex offenders, with other natures of crimes with them, and further sexual then and now, tied with the women judges. See, these are women are masters of preventing men from speaking and from attaching them to fake words and fake positions and lying about the past with others and evidence racketeering because we have interbranch men recorded originally and still raised spreading illusions of fake conversations with people. Prosecutors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering, raised roles with male crime rule clicks, wire crime clicks, identity theft clicks, vertical and horizontal database racketeering clicks with campuses. They pretend, they know you're going to walk here, so you're going to sit with this group if you don't know anyone. And they're liable who you know at the same time. They put a Mike Kerr next to me. He knows we were never friends. They were making confessions to me about overt criminal enterprises. No, when I was in middle school. In grammar school, they were already making confessions about this. If you listen hard, in the cities, it's easy. The overt criminal enterprises will tell you that and how they're criminally foreign influenced. They're criminal racist natures. The reason that's overt like that is because they're being coached to it by interbranch and by intercampuses in the suburbs, sickly distinctly, but sickly non-distinctly too. They're, and you have sense impressions going by what's good for everyone. Everyone's a fake. Everyone's speaking through other people, and that's being used criminally. You guys are preventing mandated law, and you're needing to pretend things in the background. There's a Joey Quest recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with CIA and with FBI clicks, and he's pretending to be about Los Solitos with people associated with Fox Connecticut News, with identity thefts, fake conversations with me, fake recorded things with two Mendes police. Now, two Domain police are also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated criminally involved. Whole bunch of people on and off the buildings around them. And the club's owners are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with the policing of them with this Mendes clique, crimes with child sex offender principles and shit. People associated with, undercover where they have laws and statutes where they can pretend such are actually involved with the furtherance of such worse than interstates. We have the identity of titles like FBI used worthless. They're involved with human trafficking, attaching for example, per recorded judges, male and female, attaching little boys and girls to fake locations through time, fake words, fake sequences, attaching their family members to fake words, fake locations, fake sequences, putting fake news involved with that. Pretending passions and emotions through the kids are legitimate tied to that. Now that's why they're stuck there and use their kids. If you want to let them go, then get them out of the school and put them in a private school. Get out! Now, give me a response to the rape threats, forging names, switching names. I'm sick of asking. I'm sick of asking. You punks. Pick one name in sequence. They recorded, confessed, and demonstrated on a mass scale. They prevent people from a response from speech unless they're going to be sick fakes with these branches. Now we have recorded, confessed, and demonstrated all these police forms, military, foreign, and domestic, involved with the criminal uses of the houses next to me, involved further with the principal sex offenders, campus, through their fact cheating nature racketeering roles. If they have nothing to hide, it's a branch, then get me a response. Otherwise, I'm going to write about it, you guys. And you don't know about me. And I have the right to write about you because they brought you up. Like this Casper family, brought up by these people involved with child sex offenders. I never had a conversation with this Casper family. He's also recorded, demonstrated, confessed, involved with the people on and off CCSU, on and off Trinity College, racketeering acts roles. At the same time, around the time reported when they reported Greg Kyler was shot, real or made up, they recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they were involved uses of him racketeering for the people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a pattern of racketeering leading up to and in the Trade Center attack, and since it, with predicate acts too. Mail crimes are predicate acts, especially the ones tied to these Trade Center cliques and this Leahy family that have faked conversations, forged other doctors' names. These families that worked with a triage are involved with houses in my area. A triage is where they put you for mental evaluation if they're not going to arrest you, but there's a problem between people. Now, there was no problem between people except for one. I told my mother, if you don't call the cops without telling me, I didn't want to tell her why. I said, I'm going to force you to. This is 3 months after my father died. Nothing personal against her. No, see, they heard that they in the background that they're also already recorded, confessed, and demonstrated before that involved with racketeering with my new and past neighbors. Confessed, recorded, and demonstrated with this Dillon family and with this Hanson family and with a whole bunch of people tied to them with racketeering with houses in my area involved. Where the fact cheating nature, where they have lipoaggressions. That's why they had WFSB steal me the fake words. Also, a whole bunch of natures of crimes as the fake words and fake things about my past they pretended. These are database racketeering roles. They're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, forcing sustained fake aggression and fake care on the kids. And they're simultaneously exploiting that through time. A whole bunch of people decide where's this Abruzzi family live? Who's the guy who used his name with me and Willard Hall? Where's this CJ live? And let's get a response for the people. Modern Pastry on Franklin Avenue in Hartford. There's a whole bunch of people tied to a Fred Grisey who's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering roles with Modern Pastry, and with you, he confessed, recorded, and demonstrated people associated with you are involved with it, like a CJ, and like a Dr. Leahy and a Brenda Leahy has other brothers with different names. I don't know them either, and they have women in their family involved with racketeering with as doctors, forging names, switching names, pretending they know me, pretending things in databases through time. Since I was a kid, I've been trying to counter a straight path of racketeering against me, and I want a goddamn answer. And I want to know why, because if I don't have to talk about you guys more. Fox Connecticut News, I mean, and WFSB is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with the people tied to you. And with your role, they're recorded, confessed, demonstrated that they have your kids involved with it. So if you don't want your kids to be the subject of this further, then have me get a response for the names of the judges forging names and switching names and making up lies with the Wethersfield police chief and the retired and standing associated with this Detective Dillon and with this CJ guy. And with other people I don't know the names of tied to him, also recorded, confessed, demonstrated racketeering uses of Willard Hall and of pretending to perceive and to record things. Also, because they're trying to this is per their roles with crime methods where they pretend to emotions and passions with the courts that already recorded racketeering rules involved, like New Britain Superior Court. Since before I went to college at CCSU, they were already recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the pattern of racketeering I've been trying to report since I was a kid, too, distinctly and non distinctly, not just from off campus since before the Trade Center attack, because that was the confessions were also about identity, the ground uses of identity, the ground locations that other people also made confessions about, tied to with the same with that show the connections. There's a person named there are a whole bunch of people with military involved with Justin Kovinskis and his wife involved with military with stolen valor, where they have regular citizens' valor stolen by fake identity theft cliques, with racketeering with judges, with racketeering with police firms. Then what are they going to do? They're going to pretend the value of someone because they're family members in the service. Their father's a rebel rap mob, the military police per his son and per his son's brother. I never met him, but he's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the houses, the corners of Griswold, used criminally by the police forms. I want to know their names too. There's also, I don't want to know anyone's name. I don't care about anyone. I mean, but anyone else's business. But we also have a woman involved. They have town offices meetings and things like that. Woman, oh, well, these people. Well, how come they have a job? Woman, what's your name? Are you involved with this house over here near this golf course? Because their media also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that you're involved also with some racketeering. And you drove by when we were driving by. I was driving by in a car with someone. You jumped out the door right when we went by. I wasn't even looking, and I saw you out of the corner of my eye. Look, and that was right after they reported that you were complaining about something. Now these are people and your neighbors are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with some untimely deaths and with some racketeering with drugs and stuff like that. I don't care about their I'm not trying to judge them for that, but some interbranch drug cliques using that and having used that through time to pretend conversations with people and to affect confessions from people into contexts where they can't go back and be honest about that. And that's used for a racketeering method. Now, there are a whole bunch of people with other nations associated with a Joe DeMauro, who's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by people at CCSU I don't know the names of, but they're from my town. And they're further involved with the intercities connected confessions that were also used to force delay because they were adapting where they're forging names, switching names, and they're getting, in other words, identities, different natures of identity crime. Even deans are switching names. Uses of Facebook for that. So I don't know if that's the real Dean Alford or what. And they use mail crimes and email. Also, especially if made up, Hugh Ogden is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering roles with my new and past neighbors with this Dylan guy. He didn't use those names, but he's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also involved with a pattern of people forging names, switching names, attaching me to fake letters. I sent some weird emails or some sloppy emails. See, they'll send they put things they can't put real evidences. Like for example, because then they took positions. For example, I never had a class with a Miss Phillips. I don't know her. But I know she's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with sexual circles with a whole bunch of boyfriends of a Magdalena who were at her wedding at the same time her husband was there. And now he's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with involved racketeering with people with my neighbor's house. The one that involved with this. And with his extended family members, with the child sex offenders, with the campuses, policing involved with that too. because they're hiding life progressions also because they have various natures of courts and prisons involved with racketeering with drugs. And when they have disputes about that, where they're going to have they have probate courts settle it. Now, probate courts are recorded, confessed, and demonstrate how criminally involved also with people that stay at locations like the hotel next to the mobile on Town Line Road, Southstein Highway. They have that recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also involved with that mobile, and through the transitions of the owners of it, involved with the racketeering with the trade center clicks. These are all people racketeering acts roles with Washington D.C. cases tied clicks, and with Patton Boggs. There's a Patton Boggs. Please respond because you have a Robert Chevery is a lawyer of a and we have Robert Luskin involved with his co-defendants are involved with some racketeering with my town's police chief and with some female judges with more child sex offenders tied to a principal sex offenders campus. There were also some medical doctors and police forms and prosecutors and judges associated with UConn who are involved with racketeering through time here and criminal uses of the fact cheating nature of people like around the golf course involved, including the reported forced drugging of a kid. I would like the name of that judge, please, because of his roles with the racketeering with the child sex offenders campus near there, and with the Weathersfield police chief and on off the state judicial branch office involved, were recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with criminal uses of his physical delusions, at least, and regarding that. And I would like to know the response for the doctors who have forged names and switched names 3 times. Then two times, 3 times they forced me into a triage. 2 times they made up lies about how they brought me there. There was no problem except for the rape for the threats online that I was in a norm, not even a bad argument with my family. That in other words, but it was the first time I had to force yell until I for days till I could get her to do it because I had to counter what my neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated are racketeering roles with a whole bunch of people tied to a Dillon family, and as a Dillon family with CCSU involved with them criminally with judges through time, involved racketeering with uses of kids' campuses and of their own kids involved with this. I don't even know his name. The kid's name. He's got other kids tied to his kids involved with their thing because now they're needing to hide life progressions. Now he needed to hide criminal uses of the sale of their house because they're still involved with the first Dillon, Anna Dillon, Kevin Dillon, and a Sean Dillon recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with them when they came in per their confessions repeated to me. They asked me to get involved with them calling the police. Now fucking three times they didn't let me report anything, right? Because I didn't want to speak to someone who was already recorded and involved with them criminally. Now I need mandated law followed. WFSB needs to fix the fake news. Patton Boggs, I want to know why you're preventing mandated law. I need your help to counter a pattern of racketeering tied to your employees involved with child sex offenders further. With other FBI also. There's an Ian up the street who's in the FBI or not. But in other words, there are people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated interbranch involved with him with racketeering, with the Mayano family, and with the uses of on off the water spot like in Middletown and Wesleyan College. Now these are people with criminal uses of Puerto Rico and of Hamilton and of justice. Words like justice, words like evidence, words like logic. See, we have a problem with criminally foreign influence psychology. And now these people are drugging people, so they have the phenomenon of statutes to pretend that people are just trying to counter that. So they're using that to hide all their life progressions because they've been setting up innocent people, which is actually recorded. And they've been attaching worse because they need to hide their own lies. and rolls with things. So they have those negative value nature progressions are tied to that. People getting upset for righteous reasons. But it's not just that, it's because it's in a sustained way unequally against everyone, especially against me, because of the former director of the FBI involved criminally with all the schools I went to through the same families, facilitated the roles with it, how they use that. There's a Jen Social. I never had a conversation with her in my life. They ever tried to pretend other. Now there's a Ray Reynolds involved. I forgot. I don't know the name. He's involved with a very. They're involved with a whole bunch of police forms that are also with doctors of psychology, foreign and domestic, military, foreign and domestic, overt criminal enterprises, foreign and domestic, all involved with database crimes. A crime method that uses each of fact, human nature in conjunction, and they're using the effects of that. That's how they're using the. That's, for example, involved with the roles of their uses of the parks in town. It's in a phase being used, but it's in each age. Each age is sickly, distinctly, non-distinctly hurt. Sickly, distinctly, so to keep from non-distinctly from being discerned, keeping so they keep free speech offensively, self-valued, forsaken, science, mandated law. They're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated into branch. They pretend mandated law means ask someone else, and that's used criminally, and that's recorded. So get the mandated law followed, and get the names because they're using and having used the identities of the campuses. Now they have them insulated, not just physically because they're pretending guns. All this is tied to fact. This is the same racketeering method that's causing consciously, methodically, force a whole bunch of fake care natures of jobs and line progression roles and fake justice, evil, misprision identity, line progression styles, self-value, focused on areas sickly. This is sick. Shouldn't have to beg for free speech. Now you are incapable of having a free election. You guys want to keep talking anyway. This is the follow the predicate acts, follow the sequence shifts actually recorded. Follow the FBI lying about that. Follow the FBI pretending to have integrity. They never had integrity, our organized crime countering bodies. Look around. All gather around. Horrors! Now this is a citizen's arrest too. And we need the Attorney General with the Attorney General of the United States to take, for example, too, not just literally, but literally, we need the Attorney General to take federal stewardship of Connecticut. We have further people involved with the So don't make me draw all these businesses and locations. That's what they want. Make me beg through other people to do the jobs of the interbranch. Just get them from their coward retreats and out of their positions if they can't do it, and show why. Get them to one name and sequence. Get them to respond here. They forced people before them because they could make up whatever, and they did. They already have been doing that. They use wire crime, whole wire crime methods, because then they defend their identity no matter what. They quote statutes that say they can do that. They're kept criminally foreign influence. They're not allowed to do that. They're kept crime acts and methods roles with overt criminal enterprises. They're not allowed to do that. Other nations are keeping them stuck this way. They're not allowed to do that. Overt criminal enterprises are keeping them stuck this way. They're not allowed to do that. Private ones are keeping them stuck this way. They're not allowed to do that. Not allowed to keep having fake conversations with me. Have some sick, weird old girl tied to this Heather Hansen in Trinity College, and her knowledge, her whatever, the intelligence community. Get out of my name! I want a response. Get these people from my name. Give me a response. Pick one person. Pick one name and sequence into branching now. Now we want the Gold family too, because they're also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with this racketeering, with these forensics clicks, and with these body spots, legal and other, involved with racketeering with the cases, with evidences. Also with these criminal justice racketeering roles, also same ones racketeering with the policing of the and racketeering with the drug storage clicks, not by accident. Get down or gather round. Pretend you had integrity, FBI. People associated with your little spots or walking around training people on and off campuses with like Yale next to those clubs. You sick fake punks. Get one name in sequence. You guys are also recorded with the wire crime racketeering and election crime racketeering roles, pretending to be against that. All rise. Sequence shift with Luskin's clicks. So forget about it. It's not even debatable that they used and are using and having used and valued criminally uses of Comey and Mueller, especially if they're not FBI, especially if they are. Your racketeering roles in cases with former directors of the FBI and with other media and with your sources with CCSU, CNN. Let's go. Let's get her done. Boxing is fun when we're alone. You follow rules. You pick one name in sequence, fools. You follow mandated law. You get those judges to one name in sequence and down with the state's attorneys and with those creepy little victims advocates through time. Also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with the child defender's role as tool because they're preventing free speech. We have real sick statutes. We have real sick people in Washington, D.C. You in the Pentagon, you fear God for having a psychology degree. You fool. Now get your fucking name on here too, motherfucker. Who the fuck you are. You fucking respond for your fucking nation. You're fucking Connecticut. You fucking cowards. Pick one name in sequence, motherfuckers. What are they talking about with these confessions about the police chief further too, motherfucker?